What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Student Built Startups Podcast, episode 17. I'm your host, Cameron Stone, entrepreneur and marketing analytics student at UMD. I interview student entrepreneurs to share their stories and business strategies. Today's guest will speak about combating the struggle with motivation and winning social media. He has plenty of experience in this arena, from dropping out of college, rising out of poverty, and following his entrepreneurial passion for the past 3 years. He will be sharing his story and how his education has played a role in it. I encourage you to go check out his Instagram at IamJHARAD. I'm excited to introduce you all to the co-founder of Plato, a social media app and tech company set to launch this August, owner of Underground Reactions, and freelance digital content marketer and investor, Jharad McCLung Lester. Hey, Jharad. Happy to have you here on the Student Built Startups podcast. I'll have you start off by saying hello to everyone listening and sharing one crazy but true fact about yourself.
Hey, what's up, everybody? And thanks for having me on the podcast, man. One crazy but true fact: I have ADD, ADHD, anxiety, depression, and I'm grateful for having all of them. So that's mine, I guess.
All right. Well, yeah, it sounds like you have a lot of stuff on your plate and have a lot of stuff to deal with, but it sounds like you at least have a good mindset around that and have found the right way to kind of deal with that. So that's cool.
Yeah, it's taken some time, but I'm getting there.
All right. Well, that's good to hear. I'll have you start off by sharing a little bit about your educational story and your entrepreneurial experiences, including some details about the businesses that you're working on right now and some of the things that you've worked on in the past.
Yeah. I've done a lot of businesses. Majority of them have failed, which is what happens. Me, so I grew up, average, I guess, in Pittsburgh for a while. Then I moved to West Virginia to my grandparents' house. And that's where I really started to see that I'm not fit for the education system. I'm not fit for that. I need to do this entrepreneur stuff more. And I never really saw that in me throughout middle school and high school. But after looking back, I really did have some traits that I showed, but no one knew what those were. So they would never say anything about it, whether it was family members, friends, teachers, any of that. And I hated school. I hated it so much. It basically felt as if I was in a 9-to-5, going to school, just sitting there. I couldn't do it. I mean, I have ADHD and ADD. I can't do that. It was terrible. So then I started my first, I guess, it wasn't really a business. I kind of did it under the table, honestly. It was sneakers. I love sneakers. I still do, but I really loved it. And I got a job with my friend's family business as a carny. I was working at his carnival business. And you make some pretty good money doing that, honestly.
Yeah.
So I saved up a bunch of money, and on all the money I used, I bought hella sneakers. I remember I think the Jordan 11 breads for that year came out. This was like 4 years ago. So yeah. I bought I think 10 pairs of them. Then I ended up flipping all of them. So I turned 5,000 into way more over time. But I was really stupid with money at that time, so it didn't really help me.
Yeah.
So then, when I moved and stuff, that's where I really got serious about it all, because the school I moved to was terrible. It's so small. It was just an awful environment. So that's where I stopped focusing on anything related to school. I basically, at one point, I told my teachers, I might come to class, but I'm going to be on my laptop doing my own thing. But then I founded my first business called the Sneaker House. And I sold bought and resold sneakers, some clothing like streetwear brands like Supreme, Bape, all those, and it did pretty good. Then I stopped doing that over time because it was just taking up way too much time, and I didn't want to do that every day. And it's really unpredictable with that, so I stopped doing that. Then I started a website where I'm low-key a political nerd, or I used to be.
All right.
I started a website. It was called The Political Outlier. And it was basically just a place for me to write and rant about issues and stuff. It was basically a think tank. And I look back on it and I kind of regret it. I started it and it got really popular. I ended up registering it and hiring people to write. We were getting like 100K visitors a month.
That's crazy.
But at that time, I didn't know how to properly monetize or anything. So we didn't make as much money as it could have made. So then that led to the cultural report. That started out as a website. And I'm still thinking right now I might lift it back up, launch it again. I don't know yet. But that was a really, really good website. Way better than the Political Outlier. And we had like 20 writers, I think. We were about to start podcasts and all that stuff. But then a big investigation launched into my hometown where I was at. And it was huge. It was on the city government. And I saw like the town kind of divided, people going crazy, calling each other names, all this stuff. And no one knew what was really going on because the only paper that was news outlet that was covering it was a statewide paper, the Charleston Gazette. And they're like, their headquarters, they're like 2 hours from town. So like they couldn't cover everything. They didn't know everything. They didn't know all the facts. So I was like, well, shoot, there hasn't been a newspaper business here in like, since I think it was like 1997. Well, my grandpa was actually he was like an founder of it. He was an owner. His dad was the founder actually of the old one. So I was like, well, I might just try to start this and make it just digital. So I started what's called the Richwood Leader, and it did really good. That's where everything I did, like I'm doing now, that's really where I credit getting my start. Because I had a lot of people relying on me for it. I mean, we were getting, for a small town, we were getting anywhere from 30 to 50,000 visitors a month. And I was the only one doing it. I couldn't find people to help. I had a mentor that helped me out with stuff, but she already had a column for another paper and stuff. So she couldn't really write or anything. She did a few times, but I was doing everything. And at this time, I still played basketball because I was in high school. So I was staying up, during basketball games and stuff. We'd get back at like midnight, 11 sometimes. And I'd wake up like at 2 a.m. because I had to get stuff out in the morning and make sure it's out before I get to school. Then I'd work on it all day during school. I'd have to be on the phone with people. And this investigation will launch. So I have a bunch of news outlets contacting me for information because they saw the website and saw me at city council meetings. That's where I really took off with stuff. And I had to learn a lot of stuff. I taught myself how to code, taught myself everything about marketing and all of that. That's taken like 3 years to do. So yeah, with all of that, I had to stay up 2 years straight. I was probably sleeping like 3-4 hours a night on average. Looking back on it, I don't know how I did it, but somehow I did. I don't know. And then the Richwood Leader, I had to stop that because I was persuaded to go to college. Now, I'm not going to say it was just someone else's fault. I mean, it was my decision too, to an extent, but I'm happy I went because I learned even more. I went and stopped the Richwood Leader, and I was still doing marketing and web design for people on the side as a side hustle. But it wasn't enough, like, because that's the only thing this stuff, like, it's the only thing that really fulfills me to keep me going because of all of my problems I got. So I couldn't do any of that, got depressed, really depressed. Like I'm talking, I couldn't wake up early anymore because then I wouldn't be able to eat breakfast for like 4 hours because, the dining hall wouldn't open until like 8. So that mess affected me. I'd miss morning classes because I couldn't wake up. Like I wouldn't want to get out of bed, wouldn't leave my dorm. And it got that way for a while. After like the last month, I finally decided I'm dropping out at the end of the semester. So for that last month of college, I didn't go to class whatsoever. I didn't even take my finals. And I started getting back into what I was doing and reaching out to people and all that. But then I was fortunate whenever I got right after I dropped out and stuff. I think it was right at the beginning of January, I believe. Clothing brand out of Canada, Ace Wolf Clothing, contacted me. The owner of it, he contacted me and needed help with the website, SEO, marketing. So I was really fortunate for him to need that because that's what really helped me get everything lifted up after, out of college. So I did that and we got big numbers afterwards. I think for the first year he was open, he only made like 5 sales, I think. So then I did SEO. I made his whole website over, got him a new domain, all of that, gave him an entirely different Instagram strategy to use for his page to grow. He went from like 300 followers within the first 2 months to, I think he has like 1,200 now. He's made,
oh wow.
He had it was like 3 to 5 sales for the first year. And after 2 months, he's like made like 20, 30, which is so much better. So he's doing great. And that's where that's everything lifted me up from there. So I left home, moved into my own apartment, and then I've been doing that ever since. Then obviously, like I said, the social media app, we have Play-Doh. Then I have Underground Reactions. which is a startup page. I'm hoping to monetize that solely off of Instagram eventually. But those are the two things I'm really, really focusing on right now, with also my like personal stuff personal brand that I want to get out. So that's, I guess, a little bit about my business stuff.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks for sharing that. I'm sure there's a lot of people listening right now that can relate to multiple parts of your story, and props to you for recognizing when you were in high school, both high school and college, that it wasn't really meant for you, and you recognized that, and you were able to kind of shift your momentum towards the path that fits you better.
Exactly. Well, yeah, at the end of the day, this is how I look at it as overall, the government wants to get you in this system so you can work for them for the rest of your lives. I don't know why people want to do that. I don't understand it. I know a lot of people that want to do that, don't mind it. They just want to be simple like that, and that's fine. You do you. But so many people don't want to do that. With a lot of stuff, especially now, we're so lucky to be in the time we are right now with the internet. And people take advantage of it and take it for granted. With all of the stuff that we've been basically given, you don't need a college degree to do anything. I mean, if anything, like I've told Nikemia, who my partner, we're both co-founders of Play-Doh. When we start hiring people, that's the thing. Like, we're not going to have a college degree. He's a senior in high school. But a friend, one of our friends or whatever that has a college degree, they're going to be working for us. Like, that's how it's going to go. So I just thought, well, I know if I owned something and I made money, I wouldn't just care about the money. I'd care about my employees, my business. How is it, impacting other people?
I hear what you're saying. I do have a similar but different viewpoint in a way. It's definitely not made for everybody. I do think there are a certain type of person out there that it is definitely made for. And for people that need to maybe go to school to be a doctor, that is absolutely perfect. Even just for people that want some structure in their learning, it's a very useful thing. But I totally understand what you're saying. A lot of entrepreneurs are kind of led down that route when really they just need to go and express their entrepreneurial passions instead of going to an educational setting and learning for a few years.
Yeah, exactly. There's, everything you do is an investment, whether it's time, money, whatever it is. And with college, you're investing in yourself with the money you're giving. And for some people, it works out. If you want to be a doctor, that's fine. Like, that's awesome. Do you? If you want to be in mechanical engineer, you do you. But people, like, for journalism and stuff, that's what I was majored in, was journalism. Actually, yeah, pretty kind of different. You do not have to go to college for that.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to switch over to our next topic here. So what really inspired you to start your first business?
I was broke. We didn't, like, growing up and stuff. We grew up I was born in West Virginia, but I grew up in Pittsburgh for the most part. And, growing up and everything, we didn't have everything, but in single parent household, me and my sister with my mom. Mm-hmm. And my mom tried and stuff, and she did whatever she could, but it was hard, obviously. At that time, I didn't think it was. The neighborhood we were in wasn't the best. And at the time, I didn't really know. I was used to all of it,
mm-hmm.
But a lot of stuff's happened. I've seen a lot of different things. A lot of people don't see behind the scenes and all of that. And whenever my grandparents basically took me in and let me move in with them, my whole perspective on everything changed. They're off Social Security, so they already have trouble paying stuff as it is. Mm-hmm. I really changed my perspective on everything whenever my grandmother, I saw her crying because she couldn't pay a bill. And I'm just thinking, like, I'm here right now. She's crying because she can't pay a bill. She wouldn't be crying if I wasn't here, because she would be able to pay it. I was an idiot for a long time. I did stupid stuff. And so everything changed there. So I was like just thinking of stuff I could do after I saw that. And then next thing you know, I see an ad for copywriting. And that's how I got into everything. Copywriting led to coding. Coding led to digital marketing. And that led me to wanting to start businesses and start several of them to see what will fit me best. It's still kind of hard, man, especially in the time like with this coronavirus stuff. It's stressful, and that's what the life is like. You're going to be stressed, and not a lot of people are made for it. That's the reality of it, man. Like me, I remember before I started my first one, I didn't have no money. So I worked a fast food job then worked another job, and then stayed up and worked on my businesses for the longest time to fund them. So it's stuff like that. But I really started because I've seen a lot of people in my family and stuff get involved in bad things. And a lot of people struggle in my family day to day and be stressed out day to day. And I just looked and I was like, I need to switch everything up because I do not want to be like that. I don't want to be just another person. I want to make some sort of impact. So, I mean, it's taken a while to find that, but if you keep on trying, you'll find it. That's my biggest thing. Like, I've probably started like 20 businesses if you count all the drop shipping ones I did and all of that. And I could confidently say 14, 15 of them have failed drastically.
From those businesses that have failed, how much knowledge do you think that you have gained from those failures?
So much. That's the thing. If you want to be, and however you define success, I guess, if you want to be successful in your terms, whatever it is, you're going to have to fail. I mean, that's how it goes. And if you don't want to fail, that's what I usually tell people, because I get a lot of messages from people asking me questions about. I just tell them like, why, like they ask like, why, how do I start? What if I'm like scared to start? And I'm like, scared to start? What? Like, if you're scared to start already, you're not made for this. Because I mean, if you're scared to fail, if you're scared to start, that's telling me that you're scared to fail. And if you're scared to fail, then you're just going to be average. That's how it is. And that's fine. But if you don't want to be that and you are scared, you don't want to fail, man, you're going to have it tough. If you don't fail, then you don't get better at anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like if you have that mindset, you can do it, but it's going to take a lot of work to change your perspective.
Oh, yeah.
A lot more than a lot of people want to put in, most likely.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
But moving on to our next question here. What had the largest impact, or where did you learn the most about how to start a business? And what were some of the things that you did to learn? Like, was it reading books? Did you have a mentor? Or did you take online courses of some sort, or just through lots of experiences?
Google, Udemy, Khan Academy, YouTube. And I've been really fortunate to have mentors. And I've had to find those mentors, though. If you could find a mentor, man, everything you do will move so much faster. One of my mentors is one of my investors, actually, past ones. And he's taught me so much with how to go in with, a pitch to an investor, how to get a business plan that's concrete, how to make one that's concrete, solid, and et cetera. If you can get a mentor, that's the best thing possible. I did whatever I could to find a mentor that was a millionaire, that started businesses that have been successful, because they know what to do. They know how to get there. So that's what I tell people too. Have a mentor that's where you want to be or above where you want to be. So yeah, mentors and Google. Books, a lot of books.
Yeah. That's something that I've heard over and over again, that having a mentor can just relieve so much pressure and help you learn so many valuable lessons without going through those failures.
You'd be surprised. Yeah, for sure. So much faster, man. And what my mentors have taught me and stuff a lot, it's not just business relations. It's just the wisdom, the professionalism, and just the traits that you need to get where you want to be. So
for you, what is the most rewarding part about being an entrepreneur and having your own business?
Well, I have ADHD and stuff, so I'm always all over the place. I'm always wanting to do something. So that's what it keeps me very busy. If I wasn't busy throughout the day and stuff, that's where depression kicks in. This is why I'm so thankful for what I have. Like, I guess you can call them problems. I don't get anxiety over like past things or anything, but I always think like I was like in the mud 2 years ago. I'm here. So I need to keep on working so I can even keep going, because I don't want to go back to where I was. I never want to go back to that place. So that all keeps me going. But I'm trying to think, like, I guess the freedom, for sure, a lot of freedom, and you get to add value to people's lives. That's the biggest thing, actually. Whether like even on Underground Reactions, it's so small right now. We're at like 260 followers, I think. But from that, I've gotten to like talk to so many people that follow. We're already building such a good community with it. I do videos specifically towards these guys and showing these artists, because a lot of them are very talented, telling them ways to get out there, that mindset that you do need to get out there, and that feeling you get when you know you're in some shape, some way, you're affecting somebody for the better, and that's the best feeling you could ever get.
Yeah, absolutely. Even if you just have an impact on one person, like that could change the whole world if that person maybe goes on to impact thousands of other people as well. So
exactly. I've noticed that the smallest things you say can affect somebody for the better or for the worse.
Well, we're about halfway through the episode, so we're going to take a moment for a brief advertisement. Over the past few months, podcasting is something that I've become very passionate about. It's helped me open many doors to new relationships, new networking opportunities, and giving the opportunity to share other people's knowledge and grow my personal brand, as well as have a lot of fun. Whether you're looking for a new marketing channel, have a message you want to share with the world, or just think it would be fun to have your own talk show, podcasting is an easy, inexpensive, and fun way to expand your reach online. BuzzSprout is hands down the easiest and best way to launch, promote, and track your podcast. Your show can be online and listed in all the major podcast directories like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and more within minutes of finishing your recording. Now, I have a special offer for all of the listeners here on the Student Built Startups podcast. Following the link in the show notes lets BuzzSprout know we sent you, gets you a $20 Amazon gift card if you sign up for a paid plan, and it helps support our show. Podcasting isn't hard when you have the right partners, and the team at BuzzSprout is passionate about helping you succeed. Join over 100,000 podcasters already using BuzzSprout to get their message out to the world. The link is in the show notes. So, on to our next question. What is your top priority when it comes to your businesses? Like, what is your number one thing that you like to focus on?
Constant improvement, consistency, and communication.
All right.
And the communication, I've just started to learn that with Play-Doh, because we're right now on our team, we got 4 people. Nikemi and I, we are the founders and owners. So we run everything. And then we have Lawrence, he's our marketing analyst and stuff. Me and him work together on it. And then Gray's just this creative dude. He's helping us with the design and everything. But we all live hours apart from each other right now. So we do everything through video and stuff. Communication has easily been the number one thing that we've had to keep strong to keep going and stuff. Because we want to launch by August, and we still have to pitch to our investors. We're getting our prototype done this month. So it's been a lot of stuff, but communication has helped. If we didn't have the communication we have, we wouldn't be anywhere near where we are. I mean, without a doubt.
Yeah, like communication is vital. Without communication, you can't put the pieces together.
Exactly, and a good team environment as well.
Yeah.
That's another big thing. You want to be able to relate to the people too that you're working with. So that's a big thing when Nikemi and I start hiring and stuff. Everyone we hire, we won't even look at resumes, honestly. We're going to look and see what work you have proven that you can do and stuff. And we want to relate to these people. So that's another big thing. You want to have a good team environment.
Yeah, for sure. I've heard honestly from people who are entrepreneurs that have been doing it for a long, long time, like years. When they talk about hiring, they usually look for not necessarily somebody who has a lot of skills or what their resume says, but more along how they will fit into their culture and get along with the other people that work there. Because people can learn skills and learn how to do things, but they can't really learn how to fit into your company culture.
Exactly.
I know you talked about fear a little bit already, but when you first started, or before you started your first business, did you kind of have a fear when you were going into it? Or was fear not so much part of that experience?
To be honest, the way I've always been, and it's gotten even more now, I just don't fear much at all. At that point, I had everything to gain and nothing to lose. So why not start? So I didn't care. If I come up with an idea, there's a really good chance I'll probably start doing it that day. And not even thinking about if I should or not. And if it doesn't work out, then I'll just stop doing it. That's just usually what I do. I've never really feared much at all. or at least consequences and stuff. And if it works, it does. If it doesn't, just move on to another one. So no, I don't know. With business and stuff, I've never hesitated to start anything that I think would work.
I think that's kind of an important attribute for an entrepreneur, that they don't have much fear, or they know very well how to handle fear.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like I said, in the past and stuff, I've had enough stuff happen and go down to where just very little scares me. Like I said, I was a moron for a long time. Like I would do anything. Like, I mean, to one point I jumped off like a little porch deck roof. To an extent, like I'm way more principled than I was, but I still don't care about the consequence, the outcome that could happen. I think a lot of people fear potential outcomes, so that's why they don't do it, and then they start regretting that like 5 to 10 years later. So I just think like I don't want to regret anything at all. And if I do something bad or something, that's just another learning experience. So why not do it? Like, screw it.
Yeah, that's true. If you just look at it as a learning experience, it's going to help change your outlook on that for sure. So how have you created a brand around your business and kind of built a culture around your businesses or websites and those sorts of things?
Well, with the Richwood Leader, it was pretty easy. We just had that entire small town community. So that wasn't hard. For my drop shipping businesses, for those, it's tricky. So I'll register them for and pay what I have to in taxes and stuff off what I make for like 4 months, and then I'll just take them down. So whenever I see I remember fidget spinners when they were real big, I would import them from China, do Amazon FBA, and drop ship basically with a Shopify store. I didn't really have to create any brand for that. They just sold. But Underground Reactions, I've created a brand solely on. The reason I started it was because if you go on YouTube and stuff, it was like 2013. I've seen that's when reaction videos really got popping, especially with hip hop and rap music. So it's really hard to make it like that right now, especially on YouTube. And these bigger YouTubers just react, the ones that do it, they just did it at the right time. They started at the right time. But they do, I noticed they only do music like that, like videos that Cole Bennett makes. A lot of them do that. Just big artists. I just don't see the value in that really. So I was just thinking all right, so this, adding stuff up together. My friend is an artist, and he actually asked me to help him with social media and stuff. So I'm technically his manager right now, and he's good. And I looked at him, and we started talking and everything, because we grew up in Pittsburgh together and stuff, and we knew each other for a few years because of that. And when I moved, we didn't talk much. And then I moved back to Morgantown. We started talking. Once we started talking and building a better connection, I realized he has a very, very similar mindset to me, and I haven't found that in anybody I talk to. Even my best friend doesn't have that. And I've had to distance myself from those people because of it. So I was looking for people like that. And then I saw, D, he had it. So I was thinking a lot of these underground artists probably are the same way. So why not make an Instagram page? Because Instagram is going to, within the next, I want to say 2 to 3 years, YouTube's not going to be as big. It's going to decrease tremendously, especially after IGTV starts getting monetized. So Instagram is going to take all that game over. So I figured I'm just going to make an Instagram page on it called Underground Reactions, and I'm going to react to underground music, and build a community off that. I knew I could build a community easily, and because it's just such a targeted industries, targeted niche, like underground artists specifically. So that wasn't hard to start that, and we've built a very, very, very good community, engaged one. So I've been really fortunate for that one. And Play-Doh, we still are doing that. We're still building the brand. So, and I can't speak on everything we're doing. But I can say that we have a very good sense, and we are really aware of what our brand's going to be about. But no, I can't speak on everything about that, obviously, right now.
Yeah, for sure. That's cool. Thanks for sharing some of those things there. So I know you mentioned you wanted to talk a little bit about like the struggles that come with entrepreneurship and kind of how you can find motivation to push past those.
It just comes down to in my opinion, it just comes down to if you're about it, if you really, really want to be in this because it sucks, and people think it's like not hard, easily the hardest thing I've had to do. And it's been a struggle for 3 years. Like I'm just recently I started gaining a lot more traction. It's been a struggle because of that. And like I said, there was for 2 years straight, I'd stay up and I'd sleep 2 hours. Like I'd wake up at 2 a.m. every morning, even on weekends, I'd have to. You have to sacrifice a lot. Like for basketball, I started getting pretty bad. And it's not bad, but like I was not improving like my senior year compared to my junior year. And that's because I was staying up all night and I had a different focus. It wasn't just on basketball at this now. Now my number one priority was setting myself straight and getting up in this game. And so it was it's just a struggle. You have to stay motivated somehow. I just stay motivated basically by telling myself nobody owes me. It's my fault at the end of the day if I don't get what I want. I'm not entitled to anything. And I need to do something to make sure my family's living good soon so they don't have to work ever again. And whenever you come up like living like average or below average, like financially and stuff, I think that really helps a lot of people. I think that's one of the best things for entrepreneurs is to come up like poor from the dirt, because you just have a different perspective on everything. You're grateful for so much more, like for the little things. So no, I would just keep on going and stuff. I mean, you just got to get through it.
And like you said, it's hard work, the amount of work that you put in versus the return that you get on that. I think that in order to be an entrepreneur, you need to almost like the suck a little bit. Oh,
you gotta love it. I just told Nikemia that, like, just fall in love with it. If you're not in love with it, you're not going to give it your all, and you're not going to get where you want to be. And you'll never be able to get that process back. And you'll see in the future, for what I think, I don't want to see in the future that I didn't love this process, because then I'll think like I'm going to regret, one, because of it, and two, my business won't be where it could be at that time. Yeah. So, fall in love with it.
All right. That's some good advice. So we're going to switch over a little bit to talking about some social media stuff, some tips about that kind of stuff.
All right.
So if you had like 5 tips or tactics that you use to help build a social media following, what would those 5 things be?
Who cares what anybody says? A lot of people at first, once you start posting more and stuff, a lot of people will unfollow you because you got to switch your whole target base around. A lot of people will probably say stuff and get different opinions about you, just you, not what you post, but you. It's happened to me. Just drown out all that noise. It doesn't matter. Post consistently. You don't got to post every day. You can post once a week, but if it's consistent once every week, that's better than posting 3 times one day, 2 times the next day, 0 times for 3 straight days, because that hurts you in the algorithm. If you really want to grow your presence, then you need to understand the algorithm, read Instagram's algorithm updates every day. I try to read them every morning. Even if they haven't updated it, read it so it's in your head and sticks with you. Write a lot down, because we're more likely to remember what we write down as opposed to what we just read. That's why I do it. So write everything down. Use hashtags the right way. Don't. I see people sometimes. I see a lot of posts, and I'm like, I know this person isn't dumb. Like, why are they using such stupid hashtags? Don't use stupid hashtags like hashtag fun. No one looks at that. Like, do something that's targeted towards you. So if I do a post about digital marketing, then I'm going to have hashtags that have something to do with digital marketing. And like with hashtags, you don't want that hashtag to have under 10,000 posts. That's just a waste. And you don't want to use up every single hashtag you can, which is, I think, 27 or 29. I always say use between 10 to 20, switch them up every post, switch up the hashtags you use every post, make sure they're effective. What else could I say? Your aesthetic on Instagram, I really focus on Instagram, especially right now. Like the aesthetic for your page, you want to have the same colorway, the same fonts on your posts, everything. It just looks better, and that's more appealing to the eye. So when people see it, they come on your profile. You can't tell me that a profile with, highlight covers that look good, they're, the same same colors, all of that. They're targeted towards what that highlight is about. And then their posts have the same exact format and everything. You can't tell me someone's not going to that's not going to catch somebody's eye right then. Like, it will. Have a good bio that's targeted towards the audience you want to target. You want to have a targeted username. It's as if it's your domain on a website. You want to have a targeted username. That's just to name a few.
No, that's good. I really liked the aesthetic one about your page being aesthetic, because if you focus on that and put some effort into that, when people click on your profile, it's going to seem more professional.
Exactly. Now, if you're someone like Gary V that can just post anything, that man he's been grinding for 20 years on it. So he's fine. He could do that. He has that recognition already. But when you're just coming up and stuff, you definitely want to do all these things because it's going to help you in the long run.
Now, one thing I do want to say is that I do think that posting and not being perfect is better than not posting because you want to be perfect.
Yeah, for sure. Especially on social media. But as long as your content, because I still do it, a lot of times if I post a video and stuff, I really don't feel like putting it into the template and stuff for posts. I just don't feel like it. And if you have if your content is high quality, that gives value to somebody, however it looks, then you're fine. And that's just as good as anything else to post that.
Yep. Totally agree with you. So I know you mentioned a couple of mistakes that you've seen that are pretty common, but what are some of the other biggest mistakes that you see people make on social media as far as when they're either working on their personal brand or a business that they're working on?
There's a lot of people, they don't engage in the community that they want to reach. They don't give anybody an incentive to come onto their page. So what I mean by that is if you want to get somebody to come on your page and probably follow you, a simple thing to do is DM 20 people. You could literally copy and paste the message. DM 20 people, something nice, not just a one-liner. You want to, 3 to 4 sentences, something nice, get them motivated, keep them going. Do that every single day. And out of those 20, you're probably going to get 17, 18 followers if they see it. Commenting on posts, if your page is about health, find a health page, turn notifications on for every time they post. Right when they post, leave a comment. Not just a one-liner. You want that to be long, valuable, and not just about you. You want to indirectly incite people to go into your page. You don't want to directly tell them because they won't do it. So you just want to add value regarding whatever the post is about, and then kind of put something in there that's going to get somebody to come onto your page. Captions, if you're going to write a lot of copy on your captions, don't make them into one big ass paragraph. Just go on Google, type in Instagram line break, click the first one, use paragraphs. You copy and paste it into the caption. That helps you that'll help you on the algorithm. A lot of people put hashtags in the captions as well, and that actually messes you up on the algorithm. It looks spammy. So what you do is put it in the first comment. So put those hashtags in the first comment. Then to override those hashtags to where people won't see them, I always say put 2 to 3 colorful emojis and do that 3 to 4 times in separate comments. So especially when you're on the explore page, maybe you get on the explore page or you're on the hashtag page for whatever hashtag you use. If people are scrolling down and they see your post and they kind of skip over it at first, if they see a good caption that's separated, easy to read, and then they see those emojis in the comments, the human eye, our eyes are naturally attracted to any color, especially red and blue, and green. So they're going to see that, and there's a good chance that they're going to see those and they're going to scroll back up and read it, and they might click on you on your account and check out other things. So yeah, that's a few things I have. And comment on 10 to 15 posts a day.
Yeah, a lot of times I'll go through and I pick out a hashtag and comment on 20, 30 posts, and the amount of half of them follow you back. So it's an effective way to kind of grow your following.
It's a grind. It really does get, it can get tiring over time. Not tiring, just annoying, I guess.
Yeah.
But man, it's effective. If you put in the work, it's effective. So yeah, that's a few things I have for that.
So we'll move on to the Fast 5 section. I'll ask you 5 questions and we'll go through those pretty quick.
All right, dope.
So what is the most valuable class or course that you have taken?
It'd be the first year seminar in college because I remember going to it. That taught me that it's not for me. So that's been the most valuable because that's what basically made me drop out.
Cool. So what is one book that you would recommend?
Power Shift by Daymond.
All right. Yeah, that's a pretty new one. I think I heard him talking about that on a show recently. Yeah. So what is one business tool that you would recommend?
Instagram, TikTok, and LinkedIn.
Yeah. TikTok's starting to gain some traction.
If you want to get noticed and you're good I suck at TikTok. So if I do it, I just have people do it for me. But TikTok's a really good tool. LinkedIn for professional use and stuff. LinkedIn is amazing.
Yep.
Quora and Reddit as well. Engage on those in the communities, especially on subreddits, and that'll help you a lot.
All right, cool. How do you schedule your time and plan things out that you have to do?
I don't. When I wake up in the morning, I usually read something, whether it's a book, the news, something like that. I do that for like an hour, eat breakfast, all of that. But after that, usually I do the same exact thing every day, and work on the same stuff every day. So I'll go, I'll put it on my whiteboard, a list of things maybe, but usually from I just know that I got to get done from 9 a.m. until 9 p.m. I just do that all day.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't schedule much. I mean, I have ADHD. I couldn't go off a schedule anyway if I tried. Even on medicine, I couldn't do it if I even tried. So I don't even attempt it. I've tried before, and it just I did it for 1 day, 2 days maybe, and pretty strong with it, and then just said screw it and I'm done. I can't do it. I'm just gonna go. It's worked well, surprisingly. Going off the top of my head and stuff with everything and just taking it how it is worked much better than what scheduling it. So
as long as you know what you need to get done and you know kind of what time you have to do it and you just do it, that's plenty effective.
Yeah, exactly. And like a person like me, like I said, if I had a schedule and stuff, I'd be bored out of my mind because my thoughts would be so centered because I have this set, schedule to go off of. So I wouldn't be me the entire day. I wouldn't be as effective, I don't think, as whenever I don't have a schedule. I got everything that I have in my mind. I know I got to get this stuff done. So I get this done in a certain time frame to get this done, something else. So that's helped me more, I guess you could say.
Yeah, for sure. Sometimes I kind of bounce into that same mindset mentality, just, what you need in your head and you just do.
Yeah, exactly.
And so another similar question, how do you get focused and stay productive when you have to get something done and you have to focus on it? Kind of how do you go about that?
That's the thing. I'm not trying to be that dude, but honestly, from the time I wake up till the time I go to sleep, I'm at go mode. I don't stop. It's been sometimes my friends and family have pointed this out to me and stuff because I won't talk to anybody. I will work all day, and that's what I like to do. And I don't need to stay really focused for it. I'm usually just focused, I guess you could say, and kind of know where I need to be or get.
Yeah, no, that's an interesting perspective. I like that. I haven't heard that before, but it makes sense to me. We're going to wrap up here pretty soon, but do you have anything else you want to share before we move on to the main takeaway?
If you want to do it, don't care what anyone says. It might sound like cold-hearted or something, but to me, it's not. And to a lot of people, it's not. You have to do it. Do what you have to do and just keep going.
All right. Well, thank you for sharing everything that you did. I really appreciate it. You shared some really awesome stuff about pushing past the struggles and some social media tips. But before we wrap up, if you have one main takeaway that you'd like everyone to remember, be happy for you to share that.
Just remember, we only have one life. Don't let one bad day dictate what you do for the next year. Just cherish everything we have, bro. Is so amazing. Like we've noticed since this coronavirus stuff has happened, the way of life has changed for us all, and we've taken it all for granted. I know I have. It's taught me a lot. Don't take stuff for granted. The smallest things in life matter the most. Money isn't everything. If you go into a business wanting to just make money, that business won't be successful. I've been there, done that. Just add value to people, change lives on a daily basis, impact at least one person a day. Just do it.
That's a great main takeaway. Thanks for sharing that. So last thing, where can the listeners find more about you and find more about the businesses that you've been working on?
You can follow me on my Instagram at I am Jharad. My name's spelled weird. It's then my name, Jharad. I literally actually have 0 posts. I deleted everything because I had to rethink what I wanted to do for my Instagram personal one. And now as we go through Play-Doh and stuff, what I'm going to do is every day share a video, about a minute long on what I learned that day and what happened to me maybe during that day, if it was a bad thing or something, So what I'm going to do with that is over time, once we get Play-Doh launched and stuff, look back at it and see like, how did my mood change? Did I look really stressed here? Did I go through a terrible problem on this video? You know what I mean? So like, just see how it changes to show people what the path to launching a business, a company, or it's a software company, is going to be like, and what it really takes and stuff. So I'm doing that on my personal. If you like rap or hip hop music, underground reactions, that's really all I have for social right now. Like I said, I'm still figuring everything out for my personal brand.
Yeah, well, thanks for sharing that. Everyone listening, make sure to go check out his pages there. And I really liked your idea that you had about posting a video each day about what you learned. I think that's really cool.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I'm probably going to start it next Monday, or this upcoming Monday. But yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you, man.
I'm really glad that I was able to share Jared's story with you guys. Thanks again for being on the show, Jared. And thanks to everyone listening right now. I truly appreciate your support in this journey. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and leave a review to hear some more amazing entrepreneurial stories and advice. I also encourage you to go check out studentbuiltstartups.com for all of the show notes and links to everything that we have talked about in this episode. Thanks again, and I'll catch you on the next episode.